Everybody good?
Yep.
Good. All right. Questions for Coach?
Hugh, as you've kind of evaluated the quarterbacks this week, I guess talk about Ashton and Jackson, and I guess, do you have a plan on paper for what you're going to do, maybe like drives-wise, or is it just see how it plays out?
See how it plays out. I mean, we've started out really, really well in the last few games and hope that continues to be the case. But I do think, if we start to sputter, you got to see if we can get a spark. And so that's kind of the mentality of where we're at. And I know that they're ready, Ashton and Deuce. And so we'll see how it starts. And again, hopefully it starts like it did. And it was kind of unfortunate. I think Jackson started really well, and then the next possessions 2 and 3, we had some drops that are not characteristically of us. So it's hard to fault him on that. But then in the second half, I think there were still some plays to be made that we didn't make. So we're definitely prepared to give Ashton a shot if we start to sputter.
When you factor in potentially bad weather, a new center, how do you sort of look at that and go, do I need a change if it's not necessarily on Jackson, but we kind of need a spark?
Yeah.
How does that just all feel?
Yeah, we have to stay with finding a spark, and I do believe that Ashton has the capacity to do that. Weather, you'll have to play by ear. Hopefully, we've obviously done wet ball work in a team period every single day this week and drenched it, and I haven't looked to see what the weather is right now, but that will play a factor for sure if it's pouring down rain. Hopefully there's some things we'll probably slow it down some and ask the officials in pregame, how often will you let us get a ball in, for sure, because we'd like to run one in every play if needed, unless we're going some tempo.
With that in mind, obviously running game can become more important. How much you see maybe Omar adding to his thoughts on maybe his play in the game?
Well, it depends on how fresh Cobb is. I mean, I think Cobb's playing at a really high level in the run game. That if it's that kind of game, I'm sure there's going to be extra guys in the box, and you got to balance that with what can you really do in the conditions if they are really bad. That's a tough dynamic, if they're going to have an extra guy standing down there, and if he's able to make the tackle over and over again, we're going to have to try to do something different, but that means obviously get dry balls in there, hopefully.
What does Jeremiah meant to this team, especially considering when Damari's not here anymore, Jarrell's been banged up, and he's been able to step up and be that guy for you?
Yeah, just we've had to manage his reps in the week because of the workload that we anticipate him having on Saturdays, and thrilled we have him. I said all along I thought he was going to have a breakout year, and he rushed for over 100 yards last week and had good rushing against Georgia also. So he's vital to us.
A lot of people make a lot of Arkansas's passing game. They're also running the ball as well as anybody in the country. Just the challenges going there. I know you guys have been excellent at that this year, but this seems like one of the better tests y'all are going to face in that area.
Yeah, because if all things are normal, I mean, you'd want to try to play with a lighter box because of all the things our quarterback can do. But their run game, I think 4 is really, really good running back, and their O-line's playing well. So it's definitely one of the tougher challenges I think our defense has had to try to manage caging him in the pocket, playing good coverage, and stopping the run is a challenge.
After having night games and late night games, how much of a challenge is it to be early on the road, and how do you kind of prepare a team for that?
Yeah, I mean, we're a morning practice team, so I would anticipate us getting up early and getting ready is not really. I mean, it's different than we've had. Shoot, I can't remember the last early one we've had, but I don't anticipate. Look, that is what it is, and everybody's got to do that at times, and you can't use that as an excuse. We got to get ready to play.
Yeah, this is more of an after the season question, but your offense is something you would consider maybe going back and getting a coordinator or turning it over to somebody else? Or Do you think there are advantages to being a CEO coach?
Yeah, I think everything's up to evaluate for sure. When I look at the schematics of what we're doing, they're good stuff, and it's just getting the details right as coaches better and demanding that they're done properly in everything that we carry or don't carry it if it's not going to be done properly, and then obviously it's on the kids to execute it too at a high level. So I don't see that the schematics, I mean, you look at like the first halves, man, gosh, those are some good numbers you're putting up, but hadn't been consistent enough, and so I think you have to evaluate all of that at the end of the season.